Hello everyone, I am K. Satish Kumar. I am doing BCom CA second year in Dr. Rajalakshmi College of Arts and Science. I am going to explain about communicative language and training, artificial intelligence and entity relationship model. Definition of artificial intelligence. Artificial intelligence is the ability of computer or a robot controlled by a computer to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence and discernment. Artificial intelligence, the intelligence demonstrated by machines as opposed to natural intelligence displayed by animals including humans. Before I have to explain about entity relationship model, I have to know about database model. Database model is a type of data model that determines the logical structure of a database and fundamentally determines in which manner data can be stored, organized, and manipulated. Data models define how data is connected to each other, how they are proceed and stored inside the system. The most popular examples of database are the relation model, which uses the table-based format, ADER model. The different data models are hierarchical database model, network database model, relation database model, entity relationship model, object-oriented model. A entity relationship model (ER model) is a systematic way of describing and defining a business process. An ER model is typically implemented as a database. The, the ER model defines the concept view of database and is based on the notion of real world entities and relationship among them. While formulating real world scenario into the database model, the ER model creates entity set, the relationship set, general attributes and constraints. Entity. An entity can be real world object, either animate or inanimate, that can be easily indefinable. For example, in a college database, students, teacher, classes and courses offered can be considered as entities. All these entities have some attributes for properties that give them their identity. Attribute. An attribute is a characteristic of an entity. Entity are represented by means of their properties called attributes. All attributes have values. For example, a student entity may have some name, class, and age as attributes. They exist a domain or range of values that can be assigned to attributes. For example, a student name cannot be numeric value, it has to be alphabetic. A student's age cannot be negative, etc. Attribute can be represented by an oval. Relationship. The association among entities is called a relationship. For example, an employee works at a department, a student enrolls in a course, her work at enrolls are called relationships. Relationships can be represented by diamond shape. Relationship set a set of relationship of similar type is called a relationship set. Like entities, a relationship too can have attributes. These attributes are called descriptive attributes. Types of entity: weak entity, strong entity. Weak entity: it is an entity that depends on another entity. Weak entity does not have any key attribute of their own. In other words, the entity set which does not have sufficient attributes to form a primary key is called a weak entity set. Double rectangle represents weak entity. Strong entity: an entity which have an independent existence is called strong entity. A strong entity set have their primary keys. Types of attributes. Simple attributes are atomic values which cannot be divided further. For example, a student phone number is an atomic value of 10 digits. Composite attribute. Composite attributes are made of more than one simple attribute. For example, a student's can complete name may have first name and last name. Derived attribute. Derived attribute are the attributes that do not exist in the physical database, but their values are derived from other attributes present in the database. For example, average salary in a department should not be saved directly in the database. Single valued attribute. Single valued attributes contain single value. For example, social security number. Multi-value attributes. Multi-value attributes may contain more than one values. For example, a person can have more than one phone number, email address, etc. Types of relationship. The relationship describes a association among entities. For example, a relationship exists between customer and agents that can be described as follows. An agent can serve many customers and each customer may be served by one agent. The ER model uses the term connectivity to label the type of relationship. There are three types of relationship based on cardinality. One-to-one relationship. One entity from entity set A can be associated with at most one entity of entity set B and vice versa. One-to-many relationship. One entity from entity set A can be associated with more than one entity of entity set B. However, an entity from entity set B can be associated with at most one entity. Many-to-many relationship. One entity from A can be associated with more than one entity from B and vice versa. Degree of relationship. The number of participating entities in a relationship defines the degree of relations of the relationship. There are different types of relationship based on degree of relationship. They are unary relationship, binary relationship, ternary relationship, n-ary relationship. Unary relationship or recursive relationship. In unary relationship, the entity has relationship with itself. It is also called as recursive relationship. Binary relationship. A binary relationship exists when two entities are associated in a relationship. A binary relationship can be weak or stronger based on participating entities. Ternary relationship. A simultaneous relationship that exists between instances of three entities is called ternary relationship. N-ary relationship. The relationship type of degree n is called n-ary relationship. Example, n-ary relationship. A student takes a course from a teacher at a particular time slot. Thank you, friends.